Thank you, Mana, for coming, and really
worries.
excited to talk to you about Diamonds from the Sky and sort of share your story and see like all the amazing work you've done to date.
Yeah.
So I guess just starting off with, tell us about your story, your journey, like what education background you have, when did you come to Australia, and what got you interested in sort of starting a business?
So I first arrived in Australia from Japan, 2011. So it's been 7 years now. That's quite quick, to be honest. So I studied material science and engineering. That was my bachelor degree at UNSW. And towards the end of my degree, I started working in a jewelry making place. It's a manufacturing place and focused in precious metal casting. And that was my first, entrance to the industry as a jewelry manufacturing. I never had like any experience before, but it was quite related to my study, and it was very, very good experience to see how to make it by my hand. And yeah, it was so different from what I learned in my class. Like it was all in my head, but I can actually see it. So that was quite interesting for me, and I enjoyed it a lot. And towards the end of 17, yeah, actually, my visa situation got really complicated. So that was one point that I thought I couldn't do my normal work anymore. I don't have the work permit. So that time I started thinking about maybe doing, running my own business, but not actually running it. So that was like thinking about running the business. It's not actually
research.
Yeah, it won't be count as a work. So that's how I got into start thinking about what I can do if I can't actually work physically due to my visa situation. Luckily, I didn't have to fall into that situation, but that's how I got into thinking about doing the business by myself. Yeah.
And so why did you decide to start Diamonds from the Sky, and what does it do? Tell us more about that.
So Diamonds from the Sky is the Australian first lab-grown diamond jewelry brand. So we only use diamonds that's created above the ground. So it's different from the mine diamond.
So what's the difference?
So we don't use any diamonds that's coming from the ground, I would say. So all the diamonds, it's created using the technology called chemical vapor deposition. So it's a very advanced technology, to be honest. And actually, I learned that technique in my class in material science. So when I was doing the research and came across that, it really makes sense to me. I was like, oh, that was like I learned in class, and wow, you can actually make diamond with it. So literally, you need a carbon-rich gas, so like methane or CO2, and you mix that with hydrogen gas and heat it under microwave. So it's very the molecules start getting like really excited, like a plasma state. So and the carbon starts sitting on top of each other, and that's how you form a diamond. Literally.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so for us who are not technically minded in the room, is it just 3D printing, or can you call it 3D printing?
So the CVD is falling to the category of additive manufacturing, and 3D printing is, another way of saying additive manufacturing. So in a way, it's 3D printing, but because it's atom by atom, you can't really see how it's printed, I guess. But if you like time lapse the whole process, you can see it's like printed.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And obviously, like you mentioned, you use carbon dioxide and methane. So does that also help save the environment as well?
I would say so. I think the biggest factor for now is because mining involves in a lot of carbon emitting process. So replacing that whole process with manufacturing by using the greenhouse gas will definitely contributing to the environment for sure.
Great.
Yeah.
And so just want to know more about like what are your achievements to date? What have your business done so far?
Yep.
And just tell us a bit more about that.
So I launched my business at the beginning of this year. So that was the end of January. And I did 2 stalls. And then after that, I got customers, started as a word of a mouth or like a friends of a friend, and start going up a bit farther. So I think I made almost 10 rings now with diamonds that's created above the ground. And at the moment, I'm creating some collections that's kind of related to my background, like Japanese heritage. So that's what I'm working on now. So even if you're not planning to get married or get engaged soon, you can still buy it for the gift, that kind of thing. So more casual, but I want people to see it first, because a lot of people, I think, they don't know what the lab-grown diamond is, and a lot of question comes from, does it actually look like a normal diamond? And the question is yes, but it's hard to believe that because you've never seen it. So I think one way to get familiar with it is get exposure out, I guess.
And so I know, like this from the work that we've done together, that you're also focusing on the LGBT community. So I want to know more about that and sort of like what work you did there.
So Australia legalized same-sex marriage. That was last year, the end of last year, and then I realized a lot of jewelry brand is only focusing on male proposing to female, which is traditional marriage. But I guess in Australia it's not the case anymore. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. And if you go to some jewelry store, jewelry website, it's always really appealing to selling it for girls, and there was not much alternative out there. So I really want my brand, my company, to be more neutral. It's open for everyone and feel like everyone's included. So so I did 2 stalls in a Mardi Gras. So it wasn't during the Mardi Gras season, it was a bit before the actual parade, and there was a market store there. So I had a store there, and then people I guess no one really knew about the lab-grown diamonds, so that was a good experience for me to get some word out.
That's fantastic.
And get some feedback, so that was great.
And so what are your plans for the future? Like Mana and Diamonds from the Sky in 10 years, where do you see it going?
So I think my biggest goal is to create the diamond by my hand. It's just that I'm coming from really science, engineering background, and I think I do enjoy making jewelry, but I think in the long term, I do see myself making the diamond by my hand, and I think that's my biggest passion, I would say. So what I'm trying to do now is researching how you can extract methane or carbon dioxide from the air. Or another thing is the plastic waste. It's a huge big issue in Australia at the moment. It's just so many waste happening and you can't really do anything about it. And one thing I realized is carbon is really rich in plastic as well. So I'm trying to see the way if there's a possibility you can extract carbon from the plastic waste, for example. So it's turning into something very beautiful and nice.
So plastic to diamonds, that's a great idea.
So that's something that I'm trying to focus. I don't know if it's possible or feasible yet, but that's something in the long vision.
That's really exciting to do. And so people watching us and listening to this, how can they help you on your journey?
I guess if you're interested in buying the jewelry, just contact me. I do everything custom made at the moment for the engagement ring and wedding ring. So if you have anything in mind, I can do that. Otherwise, in terms of the long-term vision, I need a research center if people can help me with researching on extracting carbon from various sources, that kind of thing. So it's just that I can't really do the research by myself or have the machine to experiment on my own. So I think that's what I need as a help, I guess.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Mana, for coming. It's a pleasure having you.
No worries.
Do you have any last words that you want to say?
I guess lab-grown diamonds is the future. I would like to say that.
Fantastic. Cool. Thank you.